Well, I'm excited about the guest that we have today. Samuel James brings some things to the table that I think are interesting and provocative and very much needed for the body of Christ in our generation. So Samuel, I'm glad to have you with us. Samuel is a acquisitions editor and manuscript development editor for Crossway. Crossway is the group that is my publisher. I'm very glad to publicly say I am deeply thankful for my partnership in the gospel with Crossway. I love their high standards. I love their commitment to the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I love the team that they've gathered there. So I want to start with just a couple things that I think would be interesting to talk about, and then we'll get into the main body of what I think can be your contribution today.
Sure.
When we were at dinner last night, which was very enjoyable, Lowell and I had a great time, you talked about being in college, going to college as a Christian, and realizing you were not a Christian. What does that mean? Talk about what that means.
Yeah. For me, it meant that I had been born into a pastor's family. And so with everything that means, at the church 2-3 times a week, basically whenever the doors are open. My parents, wonderfully godly people. I heard the gospel. I was raised in a Christian loving household. And I made a profession of faith when I was about 7 and ended up enrolling in Bible college. And it was in Bible college that the Lord, through a very particular set of circumstances, really just showed me that the sin that I had kind of been nurturing in private wasn't just kind of this little stone in my shoe. It was actually this evidence that I did not know who Jesus was. And so for me, what it meant to think of,
let me stop you. What was that like for you, that moment of recognition? Because here you had been carrying this identity for a long time.
Right. Yeah, it was forcibly exposed. So just some of the choices that I had made that started in private and then started becoming more public basically just laid me bare. So it wasn't so much that I had in my own timing said I want to be whole, I want to be real, I'm tired of living a double life. It was really that my double life was exposed. And so that was enormously shameful for me. It was a feeling of kind of despairing of my identity because I had kind of carried on this self as a son of a pastor. I'd even taught certain classes for our youth group. I was kind of presented as this, Christian, maybe emerging, servant in the church. And to have all of that laid bare really reinforced for me just how broken my life had become and how empty it was. And so I specifically remember just thinking this overwhelming desire that I was just so burdened by the shame and so grieved over the kind of person that I was and what I had done. And I remember thinking, I just want to die right now. I want to die. I want to be rid of. I don't deserve to live. I want to be gone. And it was at that moment, 20 years of being raised in a Christian household, 20 years of being exposed to the gospel. It was in that moment that I realized as if the voice of Jesus was in that room saying, yes, and that's why I died for you. And it was that moment where, like I said, 20 years of hearing the gospel became one moment of actually understanding the gospel and responding to the gospel.